Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Night Talk, a special edition, the Christmas wrap up show. And after I get through all of the stuff that head coach Patrick Drolet scrolled over, uh, he will be my guest. He's going to be on at the end. So we're really looking forward to talking to Patrick. So let's take a look. The Knights had a very busy week, very productive week. Started off last Wednesday night in Bradford against the Bulls. And the Knights would come away with their first shutout victory of the season by a score of 3-0 over the Bradford Bulls. Hayden Phillip, Mason McNeil, and Makar Korchenko would score for the Knights. Dan Sultanov 39 saves on the night to record the shutout. So well done for the Knights. That's basically, as the players were saying last week, that was a 4-point game. So uh, the following night in Meaford, the Bulls would come back and get a little bit of revenge, but the Knights would come away with a point in this one. We've got all the highlights from that one.
Now the Bulls pressuring Meaford now in their own zone. Shot. It goes wide. In front. Shot scores! Here's number 98, Kaza. Stalnak right in front. Scores! Xavier Kaza. Now here comes Hayden Phillip. Hayden Phillip's got some moves. Can he get in there? In front. Scores! Number 98, Xavier Kaza. That puck's going to, a man wide open. Silva's all by himself down here. Shot right on. Where is it? It's in the net. It's a goal. Everybody's all bunched up down there, so it's hard to get any traffic. Now here come the Knights. Number 81, that's Jordan DeGao. He tries to get in over the line. Right in front, scores! Where you go! Thomas Gray with his very first junior hockey goal. Now Max Johnson has got to keep Lewis to the outside, and he does. Here's Yancey. Yancey with a shot, and it's in. And a save. Great Badura for the Knights. Working in, Kenny. Oh, and a good save. Instead of the Deke. Nope. Going Deke. Oh, and he hits the side of the net. Not supposed to have favorites, I guess, right? Here's Korchenko coming in with his opportunity. And a save in there. Speed. Let's see what he can do with his shootout opportunity. And he completely misses the net. Let's see, he's done it once before. Let's see if he can do it again. Oh! So works his way in. Shot and score. What a snipe. Top shelf. Wow. Here comes Hayden Phillip. See if he can tie it up here. Oh, and misses. That's going to do it. The Bradford Bulls defeat the Knights of Meaford 4-3 in a shootout. But importantly, the Knights get a point.
As you see, the Knights would fall by a score of 4-3 in an overtime shootout. But importantly, the Knights did get a point out of that game with the overtime loss. Xavier Kaza, who's been filling the net of late for the Knights, would score a pair. And as you can tell by my excitement, Thomas Gray scoring his first ever junior hockey goal, the young man from Nunavut. Really excited, very happy to see him score his very first junior hockey goal. And I want to give a huge thank you to goalkeeper Gavin McCutcheon, who filled in as my color commentator that night. So thank you very much, Gavin, and a great job, buddy. We'll be calling on you again sometime soon. So, all right, now let's move to, I believe it was Saturday night. Saturday night, the Knights were in Elmagwin, and they would come away with a 5-2 victory. 5 different goal scorers on the night. Jordan DeGao, Hugo Stalnak, Xavier Kaza, Hayden Phillip, Brian Laurie, and in that game, Gavin McCutcheon would make 31 saves on the night to get the victory for the Knights. Now let's go to Tuesday afternoon in Alliston against the New Tech Civics. The Knights would come away with a 4-1 victory. Sultanov and net again faced 44 shots. Xavier Kaza, Brian Laurie, Riley Lavalley. Very glad to see him back from injury. We weren't expecting to see him back until after Christmas, but he came back and kept up with his scoring ways. Jordan DeGao also with a single in that one. And the Knights are an absolute tear right now. 8 wins, 2 losses in their last 10 games, and they have points in 9 out of 10 of those games. So, Mark, if we could take a look at the league standings. On top as they have been for, I think, the entire season, the Temiskaming Titans, what a powerhouse at 23-1, 46 points. The Bradford Rattlers, 19-2-2 for 40 points, sitting in second. And look at those Meaford Knights sitting in third spot, 13 wins, 6 losses, 3 overtime losses for 29 points. The Bradford Bulls, how important are those 3 points that the Knights took from the Bulls last week? The Bulls sitting 1 point behind the Knights at 13-7 and 228 points. And it really has taken on, as it does at Christmas time, it kind of separates the top 5 from the bottom 5. The Knights absolutely in that top 5, and really looking forward to the second half of the season. And we'll be talking to Coach Drolet about that shortly. Let's take a look at the Knights' leading scorers, Mark. On top, Jordan DeGao, 13 goals, 16 assists, 29 points. Hayden Phillip, steady all season long, 14 goals, 9 assists, 23 points. Defenseman Declan Flanagan, 4 goals, 18 assists for 22 points. And as I said, Xavier Kaza, look at the number 5 spot. He wasn't in the top 10, I think, a couple of weeks ago. He was out for part of the start of the season with injury, but 14 goals, 5 assists, 19 points, 8 of those goals coming on the power play. So very important to the team. And taking a look at goalkeeper Sultanov, Dan Sultanov, his record is 8 wins, 3 losses with a 9.41 save percentage and a 2.30 goals against average. So those are great numbers for the GMHL. So Sultanov, a great addition to this team. So Mark, if we could take a look at the upcoming games. Now we've got basically this. The last home game for the Knights is going to be December the 19th against West Nipissing, 2:30 start. So before the team goes on their holiday, the Christmas holiday, everybody's going to get a chance to go back home and see the family. And if everything goes according to plan, the Knights will be back in action on January the 6th to take on the Bradford Rattlers. 7:30 start at home, and that will be our first game with Rogers as well. So, all right, as I said, got all that stuff out of the way, and my guest is the head coach of the Meaford Knights, Patrick Drolet. Patrick, welcome.
Hey, Rob, thank you.
Very nice to get you on the show. I think we tried once or twice, but we finally got you on here. Okay, I'm going to go back to prior to the season starting. Hadn't even been in training camp yet. You didn't know who your team was going to be, but you guaranteed me that we would see a hardworking, driven team every single night. And I'll tell you, this first half of the season, you said exactly how it was going to be, and that's the way it has been for the first half of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty happy with that. Our scouts did a great job. Dan Keegan did a great job during the offseason to get us some good guys, some good players. And they all pretty much bought into what we're trying to preach here every single day. So I think we are driven, we are hardworking, and I think it shows on the ice.
It absolutely does, and you see night in, night out, and it really, no pun intended, but night in, night out, your team competes right from the opening puck drop to that final buzzer, and they almost seem just as fresh at the end of the game as they did at the start of the game. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sometimes we like to have a better start than we do, but pretty resilient group, that's for sure. Even if we're down a couple goals or whatnot, we're able to keep on focused and keep with the game plan and claw our way back in. And we've done that multiple times this year, so that's good to see.
Now, and the thing that I've noticed again in this first half of the season is that you're sitting in third spot right now, very deservedly so. And I can't help but think that you can take on those two teams that are ahead of you, the Titans and the Rattlers. Let's go back to that game with absolutely no defense against the Titans. But the final score was 12-7. But the important part of that to me was the fact that you scored 7 goals against the Titans. Only one other team has been able to do that this season, and that was in their only loss to Belmarine. So to me, if I was the coach of the Titans, the next time I play the Knights, I'm going to be taking notice of that. So again, how important is that to you to see your team able to score 7 goals against a team like the Titans?
Yeah, it's huge. I was happy to see that. Anyways, I know we have an offensive team. You knew that without our captain, Brian was great to see because he's a huge part of our offense. But yeah, no, we believe in our team offensively. Sometimes it's more about the defensive side of the puck. Also, we got to work on, and we're just trying to fix those things. But yeah, I think we can take them on. I think we can take on them and the Rattlers, and I know the guys in the room believe the same thing too.
Now, I'm a Knights fan, of course, but from a hockey standpoint and a broadcaster standpoint, I take a look at this team, and taking a look at the Knights team from 2015, 2016, that was the best team in Knights history, really, in the history of the team. They started in 13, 14, I believe it was, but that team, to me, I'm thinking back on it, I'm looking at some video and I'm comparing the two teams, and I'm not taking anything away from that night squad, but they added some players in around the Christmas break, Taylor Jordan, and they had the high profile players scoring a lot of goals and a lot of points. But this edition of the Knights, you guys are rolling 4 lines and you're rolling them effectively, and that scoring is coming from different players each and every night. So it's got to give an opposing team's coach fits.
Yeah, totally. I think that's one of our best assets that we have is our depth. Like once again, Dan and Keegan did a great job during the summer to give us a deep team and be able to combat injuries like we've had recently with Riley being out for a period of time, and now even Blaze Seabird being out, and Brian fighting suspensions or injuries or sickness. We've definitely been able to keep the ship steady and even climb in the standings as of late. So that's all due to our depth up front and on defense.
And how beautiful was it to see? And you could see by the team's reaction when Thomas Gray scored his first goal the other night. And I had him on the show just a few weeks back, and what a nice kid he is. And the excitement in my voice was 100% legit. And the players, the bench just erupted when Thomas scored that goal.
Yeah, totally. I heard it on your broadcast. It was honest. We were all happy for him. We were thrilled for him. I was happy. We all were. To give him that puck and that loss, it was good. He was happy, and it was good to see. Guy works very hard every single day. Model kid on and off the ice, and it's just makes us happy for him.
And that's, leading into the next comment I want to make is there's like a brotherhood with that team. Something that is almost impossible to do. You can't get everybody to get along because, you've got so many different personalities, but you see it in the games too, where players will jump in. Brian Laurie paid the price, but he jumped in and defended the teammate. Mathis, number 34.
Yeah, Legere.
Yeah, he did the same thing, So in my eyes, immediately that they're going to set a suspension for doing it. But the important part of it is it really shows how connected that team is and how important they are to each other.
Yeah, no, that's what the guys keep on telling me. It's a tight group they have in that room. Guys who've been in the past say there's nothing like they've ever had here before, which is great to hear. And the guys, it makes coming to the rink fun. Every single day you're here with your friends, and makes my job a lot easier too.
Now I know from years past and talking. Actually, I used to, because of the show, I get talking to a lot of the opposing players, and they would sometimes talk to me about wanting to come to Meaford and play, especially around this time of the year. Um, and there's some very good players on some of the lower teams, and some of these guys, a lot of the guys are 21. It's the final year, and they're would like to get with a contender. Would it be fair to ask you a question if you have any of that going on right now?
I'm just we might honestly to be frank with you, I'm just more focused on my day to day here. I kind of let Nathan, Dan, and Darren handle that kind of stuff, and I just focus on what I have right now and try to do my best with that.
Yeah, and it's got to be a really hard decision. You've got such a good team, and like I said, I take a look at it and in the times that I watch it. And honestly, it's not just because I'm a Knights fan, but you can't find a weak link. There's little mistakes made, sure there are. Just like in every game, but to actually look at a player and think this guy doesn't belong. That's never entered my mind in any of the games that we've done this year. So hats off to you, Patrick Drolet, for pulling this team together. And as you said, you give credit to Keegan and Danny for bringing the players in. But it's your job to make it all work, right? To put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And in my estimation, you've done a fantastic job so far this year. And I wish you all the best in the second half of the season. And I'm not kidding, with the right bounces here and there, the Knights team in 2015 and 16 knocked off Bradford Rattlers 3-1 in that first round of the playoffs. All right. And the Russell Cup might be on the horizon.
Oh, my guys believe in it, right? A few weeks ago, I came out in front of it and I said to them I wasn't afraid to say it, that I believe in this team that can do some damage in the playoffs and even try to go all the way. And they all believe it too. So it's no, I'm excited for the second half of the season. We got tonight's an important game against the Rattlers, and then close off against West Nipissing, and then we're on a roll. You kind of don't want the Christmas break to come. You just want to keep on playing hockey, but we'll take the break. We'll take the time with our families and our friends and all that. But then when we come back for the new year, we'll be ready to go.
That's right. Okay, Patrick, thank you so much for doing this. I'll see you at the rink. We've got one more shot at it, I guess. And then you get a break from my face for a couple of weeks. How's that?
Sounds good, Rob.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself. And thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I want to thank head coach Patrick Drolet for taking the time to do this this week. I'm Rob Leonard. On behalf of producer Mark Perry and all of us at Nine Stock, I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you in the new year.